Hi guys, welcome to the Doug Shoe Bushcraft channel. Our topic today is the most important category of survival gear. A lot of people say it's your knife, it's not. Others think it's a way to make fire, whether a ferro rod or whatever method they choose. No, it's not that either. And here in New England, this fall, there's already been a number of fatalities, and the authorities are concerned there might be a lot more. The reason for that is our wilderness areas are becoming more popular, more well visited during this pandemic. A lot of people out of work, or there's places of recreation that might be closed. So a lot of people are coming out into the hills and mountains, going out into the woods, and they don't know their limits, or they don't respect their limits. They don't have the knowledge that they should have. They don't bring a guide or someone experienced. So there's a lot of them getting into trouble, and a lot of people have passed. And this time of year, fall, where it can be warm in the day, but it can be below freezing at night, and it can rain or sleet or snow unexpectedly. Particularly dangerous time of year. So it's time to talk about your most important category of survival gear, which is simply your clothing. Appropriate clothing for the area. Here I'm in the northeastern woodlands, so appropriate for the area and for the season and for the weather, but not the weather when you're heading out the door, and not the weather in the forecast, but the worst weather that you can have in that area in that season. Because the unexpected will happen. Spend enough time outside. So your clothing, appropriate clothing, is a microclimate that you bring with you. It protects your body, your first layer of defense against the elements, against nature. So there are things you should carry, like a knife, way to make fire, other things, other equipment. But that's secondary. There's an EDC, something you should have with you everyday carry. At least if you're going in the woods in a wilderness area. Things I want to have, not my backpack, not left in my vehicle. There's things I want to have on my person. I'm carrying on my person. And we'll talk about that soon. But the very first category to think about is appropriate clothing. I recommend quick dry clothing. Most man-made fibers are good. Wool is good. 100% cotton, particularly a thick cotton or a fleece cotton that's 100%, like a sweatpants, sweatshirt. I don't recommend that gets wet. It's like a sopping wet towel. Takes a long time to dry. Man-made fiber is usually good. My informal test is I put it in the washing machine with the spin cycle, and then after the spin cycle I take it out of the washing machine, and before I hang it up or before I put it in the dryer, I check it out, and if it's dry or almost dry, that's good. If it's noticeably wet, and I don't care so much about the advertisement, I'll read what the company has to say maybe. I don't trust it because that's advertising. They're trying to sell me something. Of course they're saying it's wonderful. And I'll look at internet reviews maybe. But I only put so much stock in that because has the person writing the review, have they actually gone out in the woods with it? Probably not. What I'd like to do is actually wear it, and then I know how it performs. So quick dry is good. Long pants are good. Long pants any time of the year, all year. I know in the summer a lot of people wear shorts. I very rarely do. I mean, my own backyard or I'm at the beach, well, sure. But as far as hiking, camping, long pants. A lot of people like these zip-off pants are convertible between long pants, but then the lower part of the pant leg zips off. Those are popular. I don't like complicated, I like simple, and I only spend so much time on the trail. I'm going off the trail, I see something interesting, and there's brush, there's thorns, so I want the lower part of my leg to be protected, and it's just simpler to wear long pants. If it's really hot, I know ways to deal with that. But now it's fall, it's getting colder, so it's not difficult at all to wear long pants, and that's what I would recommend. A long sleeve shirt, I like ones that are not a tight sleeve, but it's a loose enough sleeve. I can roll up the sleeve, and I like the type of shirts that have a way to secure that. It's just designed to have the sleeves rolled up. That's personal preference, and I also like a shirt that unzips or unbuttons, so I don't have to pull out over my head. You have that kind of shirt that you pull over, then it's either, your only option is on or off. With a shirt that buttons up, I can unbutton it a little or all the way, and the easiest way to carry clothing is on my person. It's also giving me protection while it's on, so as long as I can deal with it unbuttoned, that's better. And then this time of the year particularly, but really year round, at least in the Northeast and the woodlands, a jacket. So there's jackets that are not waterproof at all. I wouldn't bring that kind. There's jackets that are waterproof, like they're vinyl or rubberized or something. They're waterproof, but then they're not breathable. And there's water resistant, like Gore-Tex, something like that. That's what this is. Either Gore-Tex or the NATO version of Gore-Tex from, I believe, in the 1980s, I'm not sure. But there's breathable fabric that's close to waterproof, but really it's a water resistant because it can soak through. And again, I like something that button or zips, or preferably both, and this one is both, has a zip, but also has a button. There's the kind of water resistant jacket you have to pull over your head, or it might be like a quarter zip. I don't like that because I'm walking, hiking, a backpack, going up a steep slope. I get overheated, then I gotta take it completely off. Whereas with this, I can unzip it all the way, and I can often deal with it. My armpits are getting ventilation. It's just less of the on and off. So I really want button or zip or both. And a hood is wonderful. You really want a hood. Basically, I'd call it a requirement. I don't think I'd really want one without the hood, because if it's raining, that's just so much better, and it's protection against the wind. It's just a world of difference. So just right now, I'm good to go. As long as there's daylight and the weather's like this, I'd be fine. But I want to talk about if I get trapped unexpectedly, getting lost, or there's some sort of emergency or a medical condition, injury. I have to spend the night. Well, it's going to get colder, and I'm really going to be wanting more insulation, especially if it dips down to freezing or below freezing. I'm really going to wish I had more than this. And if I have an injury, if I'm immobilized, then the situation's worse, because as long as I'm able to be active doing something, my muscles generate heat. But if I relax, slow down, or actually immobilize, then I'm much more susceptible to the cold. So this is a wool sweater. It's a Swedish military. And with that, it gets down to freezing, and I'm okay just with that. A lot of people say I'll make a fire. Well, in the worst situations where you really need the fire, it'll either be very difficult to make or you won't be able to get a fire. Like if I'm injured, I can't make a fire without gathering wood. Or the worst situation could be some sort of really severe weather event that just comes up, blizzard or something, whiteout conditions. I really need to get warm and I can't. So when you're thinking about the worst case scenario, likely there is no fire. So what do? Well, without some sort of insulation, you'll likely die. You need insulation, and then you need something to cover that that's water resistant. And I like water resistant because rather than waterproof, because waterproof, I don't get my sweat evaporating, and the water from precipitation isn't getting on me, but I'm getting wet from my perspiration, which is just as deadly. So I like water resistant, but then in really severe conditions, water could be getting through. So in addition to that, like a poncho, there's really lightweight options these days. You can get a vinyl one, but you have to be careful of that because they tear very easily. But now there's tear-resistant ripstop materials, a very light nylon or something similar to nylon. It has waterproof coating on it, so it's extremely light, but actually waterproof. And in my back pocket, I wouldn't call this clothing. I'm probably getting into EDC survival gear now, but just in my back pocket, it's a green trash bag. Get in the habit of carrying it like that, and I forget it's even there. So that's my system of clothing. You have to find something that works for you. Through experience, I found what works for me. No fad, no gimmicks, just things that work in real life. But before I sign off, I want to talk about boots. I wouldn't want to be one of these guys running around barefoot, because if they followed me where I go, things I do, long ago, the doctor would have amputated their lower legs, or they wouldn't have made it. You need footwear. As far as indigenous people in the northeastern woodland, yeah, they might have gone barefoot in the summer months, warm weather, but none of the indigenous people went barefoot year-round. It just wasn't done because you can't survive. So I'm just going to set aside the foolishness and run around barefoot in the winter. I mean, I can do that to horse around, show off, whatever, run barefoot in the snow. But can I go out for a few days like that? No, because it just doesn't work. So you need some sort of footwear. There's a lot of people hiking in sandals, don't even have any sort of boots with them. Well, you want some boots, something sturdy. If you're in the mountains, the hills, going off trail, then you want a taller boot that has ankle protection, because a good way to get disabled, an easy way to become immobilized, is a twisted ankle. And that can still happen with boots, but you get a lot more protection with a taller boot above the ankle. And you want waterproof. If you can't afford it, you can try to make it water resistant, but really waterproof is what you want. Don't forget your foot gear, something practical, something that works, and wear it around your house, wear it to work, wear it to school, wherever, wear it shopping. Wear those particular boots so they break in. You don't want a brand new pair of boots and you're going on some sort of expedition in the mountains and you get all kinds of blisters and things. I mean, break them in first, make sure that they're well fitting, I mean, walk through some puddles, see that you don't get instantly soaked. You know, again, try it out before you head out in the woods. Just one more bit of gear. Just a few more things I'd like to talk about really quick. These scarves that are all the rage right now. Not a bad idea at all. One of these, I don't mind if it's 100% cotton, because you can absorb the sweat and then it dries out pretty easily. Plus, if it's cotton, then could use it for char cloth and other purposes. But that can really make you more comfortable if you had to spend a night out here in the woods. And most military clothes, you don't have to wear military, but a lot of it's really rugged, really practical, and you can get the surplus often very inexpensively. But a lot of military clothes or outdoor clothes, they have big pockets. So one of the pockets, hat, winter hat, we might not be there yet. Definitely won't be wearing that today. I think it's in the 50s right now, so I won't be wearing that while I'm hiking because I get too hot really quickly. But if I had to be out here at night, a world of difference with a hat, some sort of scarf, a hood. Now even if it's raining or snowing, if I can find a little hollow or a shelter under some trees, evergreens with a thick canopy or something, just some sort of natural shelter, and I can huddle up with the sweater, the jacket, the hat, the scarf. Huge difference, and can be life or death. It's already getting too hot for the conditions now. There's another pocket on this side, some sort of glove. This time of year, just a work glove is good. Your extremities do cause you to lose a lot of heat. So now I can be working, doing things, whatever I need to do, whether firewood, get some firewood, or build shelter. And it's protecting my hands from thorns and splinters and whatever. And also it's retaining the heat. So generally you have a couple pockets. What can you fit in there? Just so you always have it with you. Not a bad idea at all. Alright guys, that's it for now. We've discussed clothing, the first and most important thing to think about for survival. The second is your EDC, everyday carry. Have to wait for another video, so I'll be back as soon as I can. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Numbers 6, 24 to 26.